Yes. Come on, people. I'm ready. I'm telling you, it's all about GameWeek 7. We're talking about Premier League. Back again on this one. Show your face, Zidane. What's going on? Is it because Manchester United in the mud? People, I'm not here alone. I gotta review myself tonight. People, take it easy on me. I know I'm a Manchester United fan, but welcoming everybody onto this one. This is One ISTV. Yes, this is where it's happening. Let's do this together. Game week 7. Is Manchester United going to win this? Bolade is coming to tell me. Hell no way. Eric Ten Hag must go. I tell you, it is what it is. Jeffers, are you ready for me? Because I'm going to bring on this man. I'm talking about a new person coming onto our show all the way from Ghana. God damn it, a brother from another mother. Bolade, I see going. Happy birthday to you. Hello, bro. Now welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for the birthday shout out.
All right, thanks for joining us. I tell you, Bolade is a Chelsea fan to the core, to the bone. He will tell you every history about Chelsea. He loves Chelsea today. I said that it sometimes. No. He loves Chelsea. Welcome, Bolade.
Yeah, thank you. I'm happy to be here on the platform. Yeah, it's great to be here.
All right, once again, smash the like on the video for this man all the way from Ghana. Also, Irate, are you ready for me? Irate, the Liverpool fan, is happy. They're on top of the league. But I tell you, we won't win this league. Let me welcome him. Irate. How's it going, bro?
It's going well. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching us. And it's good to be here. It's actually the last round of fixtures before the international break. So it's an important one for teams. Couple of managers already under pressure.
Like which manager?
We'll go into details.
You're asking. You know the answer to that.
So a couple of big things coming up. We'll review those. Good to be here.
All right, Jeffers, can you hear me loud and clear? I think your internet is okay. Jeffers, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, games, cards, excitement, despair, sounds of victory. That's all we are hoping for to see this weekend. And remember, it's the biggest league in the world. Welcome to the Premier League. It's great to be here.
All right, Bolade, before you jump into this, I want to ask you a question. Do you think, even if Eric Ten Hag wins on Sunday, do you think he's still going to be sacked, or do you think he should be sacked? Talk to me.
Well, talking from a Chelsea fan point of view, I think he shouldn't be sacked. Not until we have played you anyway.
Everybody wants part of the cake before you leave.
Everybody wants to share that guy. I'm telling you.
Well, he has succeeded in reducing United to an also ranked club. So some are saying it's the players, the manager won't come up to the pitch to play, but I think it's actually, even just that the player needs to be much more motivated or rejuvenated. I think the coach has got to go, even if he wins. He would want the management body to retaining him because he won the FA Cup last season. But we all can see the result of him still being on the steering wheel of the once great Man United team. So good players are looking ordinary. World-class players are looking like a player coming from the championship. It's also sad. Any team can pick a point against United at this point. But in quote, I will say Ten Hag is a good coach until we have played him. Then you can now kick him off.
I knew. Irate, what do you want to say?
Yeah, to touch on that real quick, and I heard someone say this recently, and I actually thought about it. Ten Hag, this is his third season at Man United. He has spent over 600 million. And you can't point to a single player that has gotten better under Ten Hag.
None.
I know he promoted Maino, he brought him into the team, and also Garnacho as well. But all of the big guys and the big names he brought in, none of them have really performed up to expectations. And no players have actually improved since he came in. Over 600 million. We've seen the likes of Iraola take over at Bournemouth. We saw Angie at Tottenham. Even though, yes, there are gaps in what he's trying to bring into play, but we see the style of play. We see the pattern. We've seen Arne Slot at Liverpool. We see what he has brought to the team as well. What is Ten Hag's style of play? What he has done so far is bring so many ex-Ajax players and all these Dutch guys to the team, and he's still not getting results. So at some point, you have to look at the source of the problem and not say, oh, it is the players, because some of these players, I'm telling you, if they go to other teams, they might actually start performing. So Lenny McCarthy also added fuel to the fire by saying, while Ten Hag is good tactically, he's not the type that motivates. He doesn't know how to motivate the players. He said that in one of the interviews recently. So all of these lies at the feet of Ten Hag. That's all I can say, because these are his players. If you look at the team that lost last weekend, the first 11, about 8 of them, he brought them in. So this is his team. Only him can take the blame at this point.
Nefas.
I think my thoughts on
Say your own.
Ten Hag, I think it's been clear already. I haven't hidden it. I've said it basically. I personally felt like the decision to let him stay immediately after the FA Cup final was a very wrong one. What I expected, no, honestly, was the FA Cup final. Win, lose, defeat. All should have ended in one outcome. He gets the sack. Because it's better to just end on a high and leave. Because right now, with just 10 games into the season, every hard work that has already come out through that FA Cup win has already been put down the drain. It's no longer existing.
Yeah.
And I think there's another thing we need to talk about. I think no matter how much you might want to talk about it and just avoid it, well, we still will not talk about it. No matter what. I'm not going to say anything about it.
All right, guys.
You escape a red card, and then you come back with another
red card. We'll get there.
When we start, we'll talk.
Yeah, what a captain.
What a captain. All right, guys. Game 7. That's the fixtures for the weekend. Liverpool is starting early kickoff. I'm sure, Irit, you don't like that kind of early kickoff.
We've never liked it over the last couple of years. I think it's actually worse. It's better when it's after a midweek game, because the players are still in the mood, especially a Champions League game. But it's worse when it's after the international break and you are the first to play. That's when it gets worse. But I think Crystal Palace, they've been playing so badly. They've had some poor results in the last couple of weeks, and Oliver Glasner is under pressure nowadays. So I think they'll be up for it. At Selhurst Park, it can be a very difficult place to go and get a result. It will be tricky, like we saw against Wolves last week. I called it that I'm seeing a 2-1 win for Liverpool, which eventually happened last week. It wasn't the best performance, but the end justifies the means, right? So as long as you get the 3 points, you move and you look on to better days ahead. So I think this is the type of performance or type of game that we're expecting from Crystal Palace as well. I think they will have a go at Liverpool, and they would also try to ensure that they get the crowd behind them and get a result. What we learned from Liverpool during the midweek is Mr. Darwin Núñez is still not ready to start.
Why? Injury, right?
He looks lost. He looks short of confidence. He probably has some psychological problem that needs to be looked at, because he has been given a chance by Slot in the last 2 or 3 games where he actually started, and he has not shown that he's capable of leading the line for this Liverpool team. His timing of his runs are so amateurish. Like, you kind of question sometimes, what academy or what football education did he go through? Because it's so absurd that a player that has played for the likes of Benfica at this level for several years does not know how to time his runs. It's just appalling, honestly. So he's had his chances. I think he'll be going out of the team. Jota will be coming back into the team. I don't see any other changes. that will be coming on. We expect the likes of Alisson, Trent, and the rest to start. But one player I need to give a shout out to so far this season that has exceeded all expectations is Ryan Gravenberch. He's been a breath of fresh air to that team since they came on as the number 6. Every game, if you look at the stats in terms of tackles, interceptions, carries from midfield, Gravenberch is actually leading the statistics.
Fantastic.
He has been absolutely fabulous. No one thought that he would be able to nail down a position in this team, which he has done very well. So I expect it to be a tough game, but I still see a Liverpool win. And I think it's actually a false position when they say Liverpool are at the top of the table. And this is why I say it because, and also Anislot said this recently in one of his interviews that we are yet to play any top team so far this season or any team in the top 10 of the Premier League. And, people say, oh, Man United, but Man United are at the other end of the league table now. So, and Slot is actually right. He said, we have not played any top team this season. So, it might have been a dig as well.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
But the table does not lie, unfortunately. So I think we will be tested more when after the international break we have Chelsea. And I think after Chelsea we have Man City as well. So I think tougher days are actually coming for Liverpool. Couple of tough tests coming up. So this game I see a scrappy win. I really don't see how it's going to be fun for Liverpool, honestly. At Selhurst Park, I'll go for a 2-1 win once again. So fingers crossed.
Let me shout out to Mike Ketayo, which says if Liverpool wins this match, it will be only the 3rd time in history that they have won their opening 4 away
games
of a camp.
Yeah, and Slot also created a record. He's the first manager to win. Is it 9 out of 10 games or something? So yeah, it's been good so far. But like I said, the likes of Real Madrid, Bayern, Leverkusen, Man City, Chelsea, all of these games are still to come. So that's when we'll really test whether this team is ready to.
Mayu is not there. It's not.
No, Mayu is one of the lower sides of the table. So.
All right, moving on to this one: Arsenal versus Southampton. I think Jeffers, 3 points in a kitty. Let's forget about this, right? Or you think there's going to be? It's going to be a tough game?
I won't say so because the truth is this: it's very funny if I say this, but Arsenal are actually winless against Southampton in the last 3 games. Yeah.
Winless.
They've had 3 draws against Southampton. Yes.
Wow.
So it's like
was that last 2
seasons ago, right? Last 2 seasons.
Yes, last 2 seasons they played a draw in both legs. Yeah, first and second. In fact, the second one basically had to take us now coming back 2 goals down to actually get that 3-3 draw. So it's a boogie team. I think it even makes it more complicated for Arsenal because in the fact that this is a Southampton side that is actually on the wrong end of the divide. That makes it even more tougher. And they have an ace up their sleeve because of the fact that they've got an ex-Arsenal player manning the stakes. Maybe if they decide not to use him, I would not be surprised because I think it's not his fault that they've been shipping in goals. I think it's just a case of the fact that they have a very, very terrible defense line. But it's the Emirates. If there's one game that Arsenal actually looks forward to actually delivering, is against the Emirates. Exactly. I think Michael has even posted the stats there. Yeah. Yes, 3 winless games to the Saints.
Wow.
But the thing is, if there's one thing that I know about this game is the fact that there's a bit of tradition between both sides because of the fact that you've had a lot of Southampton Academy products actually play for the Arsenal. So I think it's more or less like a game that they are looking forward to. Well, I expect just to a little change in the lineup. We saw Mikel Merino in midweek actually make his debut for the team, so I expect him to start this one out. We might actually be seeing a case whereby maybe Raheem Sterling will actually start this game because I think there may be some avenue for a bit of shuffling in the squad. So I think 3 o'clock kickoff looks like a good game for Arsenal if they actually play to their strengths. But if they actually give Southampton a chance to, especially I'm looking out for Diblin once again, because I think that young man seems to be the only spark in this team currently. I think if there's anything that they might be creating attack wise, it will come from him directly. Apart from that, I think if they actually do the same thing they've been doing so far, which they've done for the last 7 weeks so far in the Premier League, I think it's going to be route one for Arsenal.
All right.
It's
you want to say something?
Yeah, I want to say something. The coach, Russell Martin, is under a lot of pressure. And I've been reading some articles from Southampton fans that
they're already out for him.
you can't be this stubborn. There's no way you can be this stubborn. We saw Vincent Kompany do it last season and he went down with Burnley. There's no way you are. I think right now this man, honestly, we don't advocate for people losing their jobs, but he might just have to be fired if you ask me, Russell Martin, because I don't think he's ready to change how he plays, and it's Southampton are just going to go down. He is not willing to change, and even the fans are now calling for changes in the team. Even ex-players, the likes of Charlie Austin, are saying this guy has to change something. He just has. He can't keep playing this expansive football, especially against the top sides. It's not. It doesn't work that you don't have the quality of these sides. So maybe they are going to make some changes. Maybe they are going to go into a low block against Arsenal at the Emirates and try to frustrate them. But we'll see what they come up with.
All right, moving on to this, Bolade, I'm going to ask you about this game, Brentford versus Wolves. And what do you think about this coming up fixture? Brentford.
Well, it seems to be a fairly straightforward one. Belma is in top form right now, scoring all those early goals. I'm not betting against him. They are playing against a Wolves side that I don't really understand. Yeah, they've been hot and cold team. At times technically good. At times they are just like, what are these guys doing? And in 6 weeks, they actually, if I'm not wrong, they should be at they are first from bottom. So it's a match of two also runs actually. So it's a match of two also runs, but I don't see Brentford losing this one. I don't see Wolves catching a draw out of this one as well with their current form. I can't. Brentford right now are good for what they have.
But I think Brentford have the home advantage. If you ask,
they have the home advantage. They are
good for what they have. I'll call this one to Brentford. Honestly, I'll call it to Brentford because these are my reasons. My reasons are this. The only way. Okay, go on. I'll wait.
No. I'll come back.
So Wolves actually battled that against Liverpool, honestly. Okay. They put in a good display, if I have to be honest, and push Liverpool all the way. But Brentford also need points. One thing they've created recently, a record for scoring early goals. I think they've done that in 4 straight games now. They scored their first goal within the first minute.
The last 3 matches.
Last 3 matches, yes. So they might want to repeat the same. But Wolves needs points. Brentford are playing at home. We know how it is when you go to these community stadiums, right? So the crowd will be up for it. I think Brentford should just nick this one. Maybe a narrow win. Yeah.
Well, I'm tipping also Brentford to win this one. Leicester City, Bournemouth. It looks like the same thing as well. Irate, what do you think?
I'm expecting good football, actually. The two teams, they sound like you'll be seeing some great attacking display. We know how Bournemouth like to play, and since Iraola came in, and Leicester City gave us now a run for their money last weekend. We saw it, and
they play that way.
Yes, they are a team that can actually cause problems. You have the likes of Mavididi, Ndidi, and Jamie Vardy in the team. Those guys, they are still showing that they can actually play at the top level. So you give them space, and they will definitely hurt you. I don't see them packing the bus, both sides. I think they like to play free-flowing attacking football, and that's what we'll see. It's going to be a tough game. Leicester City need, the points as well. Though I think they've had one win and one draw so far this season, and they are not actually doing so badly, if you ask me, especially with how they play and how they approach games. So I think Steve Cooper, will be able to rally his side and try to get a win in this game. But Bournemouth, on the other hand, they have the likes of Semenyo, who has been in very good form this season, and also Evan Nielsen, scored a goal in the last game, and it seems to be settling into the team as well. So it's going to be a great game of football. I'll go for a 3-3 draw in that game.
Wow, that means there will be so much scoring of.
The games it smells of goals and goals and goals.
All right, on this one,
I'm looking at 3-2.
3-2.
Yeah, win for Leicester this time around.
All right.
They might nick it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to this one, Man City. Bolade, Man City versus Fulham. 3 points for Man City. Is that what they're going to
3 points for Man City in this one. Fulham is going to actually. Fulham are Man City. Let me go back to Man City before going to Fulham. Now, Man City drawing these last two matches, they know they've got to pick maximum point this time around. Now, if KDB comes back for this match, then Fulham, they are a goner. Yeah. Yeah. The absence of Rodri was felt in their last match. Now, with KDB not being there, Haaland was not able to get as much service as he's used to in that team. So I'm looking at it like if KDB comes back for this weekend, Haaland is going to score ton shit of goal again this weekend. At least 2, if not an hat-trick.
Now, captain, I put on for my fantasy. Captain.
I don't even think KDB.
However, if KDB is still doubtful and Rodri is still out I will still give it to Man City, but it's going to be a narrow win, particularly if Fulham comes out as disciplined as they could be, because they are a disciplined team as well. So, and if they are not coming to match Man City's skills for skill, if they are just coming out to be disciplined, I think they will lose, but the loss will not be as bad as Man City scoring a ton of goals this time around. I would just say maybe 2-0 to Man City. I don't see Pep wanting to pick a point out of this. He knows he's got to get the point. With Liverpool leading, we might be saying, yes, Liverpool have not played this, they have not played that. But the thing is, they are picking the point they are supposed to pick. So you've got to start running them down from now and start putting them under pressure. That by the time they start meeting the supposed big teams, they are under pressure to win. They are under some sort of pressure, knowing that Man City is behind them. Damn. So I think tomorrow Man City should have it, no matter what. Now with KDB, the goal margin might be high, but without KGB, I'm expecting maybe 2-0. I'm not seeing any goal coming from Fulham. But if they come up with
Jeffers. All right.
Yeah.
Jeffers, I want to ask you, is pressure on Man City now?
There is pressure on City. There is pressure on City. Because I want to pull out this game first of all. I think we've already known basically with Man City's pattern, and that's the fact that Rodri handles the defensive job. KDB handles the attacking job. Because as long as you have that KDB-Haaland partnership, you will always get goals. Why Rodri does what? Rodri shields that defense line. But if there's one thing we've noticed about City this season is this, and I think it started since last season, City concedes goals. No matter how much we might try to pretend about it, they concede goals. The only game they've not conceded a goal this season was against Chelsea. They've conceded in every single game in the Premier League since then. That tells you that obviously there is a weak center in that defense line. If you focus on it, you will get through. Now, coming to Fulham, I have seen Fulham play, and I think what is Fulham's issue now? Fulham's issue is you have a lot of fantastic players who are still trying to find a way to gel into a team. Right now, in fact, they have one thing right now that City actually wishes they do. They have a midfielder who will create chances. And that is this person. That is Emil Smith-Rowe. Smith-Rowe will create chances. It now depends on the attacking line to finish. City, if it was previous seasons, I might say, okay, fine. Rodri is absent. KDV is 50-50. We could then say City will look into playing through the flanks to actually get the results. And obviously, when you have a Mahrez, he will always deliver from the flanks. But currently, you have a Doku in that flank. Doku is good when it comes to creating skills-wise, but when it comes to finishing, it's still another topic we're still going to discuss eventually. He's still not there yet. Jack Grealish, on the other hand, almost the same thing. Grealish's specialty is in getting fouls. He will always be fouled. But when it comes to finishing, also a challenge. Savinho, I've seen Savinho, he's skillful.
That guy is good.
He's good. But my only concern now is, in the scenario whereby Haaland gets caged, will he step up to deliver? I think the good advantage they have now is the fact that Phil Foden is back. So definitely we might look at goals coming from that angle. I think one thing that actually works against Fulham in this game is the fact that if it was any other stadium, I would have said, okay, they might actually have a shot. But it's the Etihad. City do not lose at home. And that is one advantage that we go against Fulham. And I don't see Fulham actually surviving. In fact, I'm looking at Fulham's last 9 games against City at this home ground. It's been terrible. So I don't see it changing. I think it's still going to be the same thing. So this one, I think it's already a done deal. City will actually win. But my only concern here is, will they let Fulham score? That's it.
Irate, you want to add to this?
Yeah, I think it's one thing to lose Rodri, it's another thing to lose Rodri and KDB at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time.
At the same time.
I think, like we saw in midweek, a certain player in Phil Foden, who has not really been in the team since the Euros, right, has come in and he had a goal and an assist in that game, and he actually had an impact. So I think between Foden and Bernardo Silva, they can actually fill that role, in terms of chance creation and creativity for the team, which I think is enough to, actually, they are talking about the last season's Premier League Player of the Year in Phil Foden. So he's more than enough to come in and do the damage against Fulham. For Fulham, aside Emil Smith-Rowe that has made a very good impact, I also have to highlight Joachim Andersen. Since he got back to the team, back line, he has been absolutely solid. And now Crystal Palace that sold him to Fulham is going down the drain. So he has made a good impact in that team since he rejoined them. And I think he will also be marshalling that defense alongside Calvin Bassey against Man City tomorrow. Fulham are actually a side that they are unpredictable. You don't know when they will turn up. But when they turn up, they can be very good, especially going forward. You see combinations between the likes of Adama Traore, Iwobi, Pereira, and these guys. And they also have Muniz and this Mexican striker as well, Raul Jimenez, also up front. So when they are going forward, they can be very good going forward. They lost João Palhinha in the summer, but they have Sasha Lukic, who has also come in and has been doing a good job as well. So they have all of the weaponry to actually hurt Man City. And like Jeff has highlighted, Man City has been conceding goals this season. But with the home advantage, I don't see how Man City just don't lose at home at the Etihad. I can't remember the last time they lost at the Etihad. They just don't lose at home. So I think that would count against Fulham. If Fulham come out to play an attacking style of play, they go expansive, toe-to-toe against Man City, I think they will get whitewashed. It's probably be a 5 or 6-0. But they can actually make it, a more respectable scoreline if they just wait for Man City and try to hurt them on the counter-attack. But regardless, I think Man City will win this game.
All right, I'm just reading a breaking news now that Paul Pogba's 4-year drugs ban reduced after a successful appeal. It has been reduced to 18 months.
18
Wow.
months. That's great news for him.
That's a great news for him. Bola, do you want to say something about Pogba there? About the ban?
Well, when he got that 4-year ban, to me, I already wrote him off. That's effectively ended his career. But now that he's gotten a chance at redemption. So it's 18 months starting from when the ban. So he has spent quite.
I think he has spent over a year already, right? I think.
Yeah. So he will soon be back. So
He'll soon be back. Well,
let's see if there are teams willing to take him back, and then he needs to. The issues with him is also beyond football. There are family issues that needs to be resolved. Then if he's able to overcome that, then you've got to regain his form as well. See, if you leave football for a week, football leaves you for 3 months.
3 months.
So,
yeah, I think
he's also got another challenge as well too, because not only is he fighting back to get into the team and get into form, he has to also fight back to get his number. Currently, there's a number 10 in Juventus, and it's not Pogba. So I don't know how he's going to do it.
I don't think he'll be going back to Juventus, if you ask me. It's probably going to be another team that will take him on, because even before his ban, after losing his way at Man United, he got back to Juve and he still wasn't making the team.
I think it was the case of the Juve team currently there. I think it was more or less like the team had already moved on from him. Although I might say Allegri might have had a factor to it. I think with the new manager right now, I think with Motta, I think there's more of a chance, because if you compare what we saw with Juventus last season and we compare what we are seeing with Juventus this season, there's a big difference. We are seeing a Juve team actually coming out to attack, which they were struggling to do last season. And not only are they attacking, somehow they are keeping clean sheets. The only goals Juve have considered this season have been in the Champions League. In the league, they're still on 0. That's letting you know that it's a good defensive setup that Thiago Motta has actually set. But I think with Pogba in that midfield, Pogba brings a certain style that I think we don't always see in today's midfielders now. We're seeing a player who, with one pass, can actually open any defense as long as the attacker knows exactly where he's going to put that ball. It's been a long time since we actually saw that kind of defensive player who just needs a pass, who just to stay in the back. It's just in the back, box to box. He just needs a pass and he opens the game. And I'll be honest with you, since Pogba left United, it hasn't come that way. United still lacks that presence there. In fact, I think we'll talk about United when it's time for us to talk about United. I think Ten Hag has done a whole lot of things that are wrong, and he needs to be flogged. Let's be realistic. We'll talk about it later. But for me, good news for Pogba. I can't wait to see him play. They need him seriously. He needs to get back into the pitch, and obviously, when he gets back, I think
when you say they need him, you mean Man United need him, or who needs him?
I want to see the United knew him initially, not the ending. Honestly,
because Thiago Motta, as we know, is a very strict manager. He doesn't have
Very
time
true.
to speak. No. If you are not going to fit his style of play, we'll tell you no, you are not in my plans, and that's it.
You will sit on the bench. I just hope it's not what I want to see with him this time.
You'll not even sit on the bench. His bench, he knows what he even wants on the bench. That's the
All right. Moving on to this one. West Ham, is it a time for Lopetegui to do something? Because I think Ipswich is another bad.
So let me take this on, right?
Yeah.
Quickly. I just want to say a couple of sentences. If West Ham don't get 3 points in this game at home,
he will be sacked.
Lopetegui should just resign and not wait to get sacked, because this
will be
break coming up, and I feel like there'll be some teams making a couple of changes, and I think West Ham is one of them. So this game is actually a make for break or break for Lopetegui. He doesn't get 3 points against a promoted Ipswich at home. This man should be fired. It's just as simple as that. He should go look for another job. He's not up to it.
Bolade, do you agree? Lopetegui at this time is on the hot seat.
Yeah. So he already mentioned it. So Ipswich, it's a promoted team. Easily a team like West Ham should be beating them anytime of the day. But if Upetugi cannot and his team cannot pick the maximum 3 points playing at home, then they've been underwhelming all season already as it is. They should just look at ways, or the boys should just look at ways of finding a way to make the team work this season before it gets worse than this. If they cannot pick a point again, if they cannot pick the maximum point against which is bad.
It's so
enough.
bad.
This, yeah.
All right, moving on to Everton Newcastle. Wow, that's another cracking game. What do you think, Jeffers, on this one? Everton. Everton.
This is a game I'm actually looking forward to watch because I think this is it. Finally, it seems as if Everton have been able to get the club ownership issues settled. So it's sorted out, and I think from this point moving forward, I think we now have a signature whereby the players know that their futures have been settled, so it's now time to deliver on the pitch. For Eddie Howe, a lot of focus will be on him for this game because we saw that outstanding performance that they gave against City last weekend. And then when it got to the League Cup game against, was it Barrow they played or Wimbledon? It's basically, the initial game was actually scheduled to hold in that side's home ground, but because of the flooding issue, they moved it back to St. James's Park for them to play it. And to be honest with you, it wasn't a good fixture to watch because with all the hype that we saw from Newcastle, we expected them to do better, but this game they actually won by a goal. Against a goal, it was not good enough. Now, this is my concern with Newcastle. Forward line. You have Wilson and you have Isak. These are two players that you know that if they are on form and on the field of play, they will actually do a lot of damage when it comes to getting goals on the opposing half. But now we are having a case whereby both of them are injured. There are doubts for the game. That means that Eddie Howe has to move down to playing Gordon as a false nine. Brentwaite might be playing this game. If he doesn't play this game, I think he'll be coming back immediately after the international break. Mikolenko is already back.
He played the last game.
He's back. Good. Brentwaite is back. That tells you one thing. Brentwaite is back, which means Gordon will not have it easy. Brentwaite has basically been the beacon in that Everton defense line. He's been the one who has actually been outstanding. Now, when you now have him back and you have Mikolenko, a fully fit Mikolenko pairing alongside him, I hate to see how Gordon will have those chances. He's going to be able to look at getting. And you know, Gordon is not exactly a striker; he's more or less a midfielder. Now, it's a case of if Everton can actually hold their own, because my own concern is this: that Newcastle defense line is now having cracks. It's not as strong as it used to be before. You're having a situation whereby the key players in the midfield are not exactly on form, which tells you that whenever the midfield players of Newcastle are not on form, in all generality, Newcastle is not on form. And I begin to worry because I'm seeing McNeil giving what is given in the flags there. If Calvert-Lewin plays, Calvert-Lewin might score because I think he's gradually getting back to his form of scoring. Now, this is a game we can actually go either way of all three options. It can either be an Everton win if they actually come out and play as they played last week. It could be a draw. It could be a draw if both sides decide to eliminate themselves on the key areas. And it could also be a Newcastle win if Everton lose guard and actually let Newcastle take their chances. So this is a game that has a banana skin written all over it. And funny enough, although it might look too early, but this is looking like another 6-pointer in the Premier League, where the points, whoever gets it, will actually go a long way in actually securing somebody's Premier League status. But I expect fireworks. I expect an exciting game. And believe you me, if I don't see goals in this game, I'll be disappointed personally.
You'll be disappointed personally. That's serious. Do we need to do a preview for this particular game?
We need to do it.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It's one that.
Let me start with Bolade. What Manchester United facing Aston Villa? Is that a judgment day for this man? We are talking about Erik ten Hag in this game. Bolade, what do you think?
I think this should nail Ten Hag tenure finally. I don't see any way around it. Similar to at times they are what they are. But if you go, they've been phenomenal. Their match against Bayern during the week, it's refreshing.
Yeah,
it's really refreshing that a team not that really rated. They are rated. They are a big English team. After all, they have more Champions League than us now. So
you had to remind Jeffers. It's okay.
Well, they displayed their Champions League when we played them, and we know what actually ended that match. Yes, no problem.
Okay.
Good.
So I really pity Man U. If Villa go into this game, like I feel they are going to go into this game, Ten Hag should just finally pack his bag and go. The fundamental stuff that are wrong with Man U, and I think it's basically coming from the coach. I think Jeff already mentioned it earlier. He's basically playing with his team now. So what excuse do you have? What excuse do you have now? From the goalkeeping to the defense to the midfield, you are watching a Rashford. The Rashford now compared to Rashford of say 4 or 5 seasons ago are like two different persons. I'm seeing what's the name of the captain now?
Bruno.
Yeah, Bruno. Bruno of 4 or 5 seasons ago is also different. 4 seasons ago is also different from Bruno we are seeing now. Things I don't know. If we are talking about right now, if we are talking about Man U, we should be talking about Man U and Bournemouth and Everton. Those are the category of teams that we should be analyzing them with right now with the way they are playing. Yeah.
Even Bournemouth are playing better. I think that.
But I'm just saying that in category, Bournemouth are playing better right now. But man, if that is, we've gotten Liverpool got their coach from Eredivisie. Man U got their coach from Eredivisie, but you won't, looking at what is happening right now, you won't say these two managers came from the same team. Yeah. Liverpool has maybe they have not played the really top teams yet, but you can see some pattern and some personality to their game. I don't see any personality with Man U right now at all. So, and that is one of the reasons why
Ten Hag doesn't have a pattern. Ten Hag doesn't have a pattern. And this is 3 years, and we're still yet to see a pattern. Now, I want us to just look at one thing clearly. Okay. I don't want to look at the previous game against Tottenham. It's gone. I'm gonna judge him based on his last game. Yesterday's game against Porto. You started well. You hit Porto for 2 before Porto even realized that there was actually a game going on. My first question is this: how did Ten Hag manage to conjure up his midfield to enable Porto to start getting chances? And Porto got 2 goals before half time. I don't understand. Now you come back in the second half, and all of a sudden, you get hit by Porto again. At this point, what I expect is there is a team leader. You need to marshal your troops. You need to make sure that everyone's head is actually in the game. But what does Bruno Fernandes do? He goes ahead to get himself sent off. Now, United look rudderless. I'm not surprised. The person who actually rescued that game for United was the one player who a lot of United fans actually crucified when he was captain of that side. So you see, there is a fundamental problem that's going on.
Yeah.
Ten Hag got in the lights and all of a sudden felt it was convenient for him to put Maguire on the bench. But let's tell ourselves the honest truth. United finishing 6th last season. Or was it 6th? I think it was 6th. I think United finished 8th last season.
-3.
But with a negative result. But the truth is this.
Add more.
The best performance in defense for United last season came from Harry Maguire. So now my question is this. If you know this guy has always delivered when he has been called upon, why do you have him on the bench? Number 2, there is the curious case of Ahmad. I still don't understand why Ahmad is not playing games for United at this point. I don't get it. And it only tells me that I'm seeing a manager who doesn't still know his starting 11. 2 years into the job. And it's not good news. It's not good news for Ten Hag. No matter how much you might try and justify your actions and say that your team is playing well, we are the fans. We watch your team play on the pitch of play. And what we are seeing is not anything to write home about. He should do better. My problem with this game is this, which is why I let everyone just say what they want to say. But funny thing is that I'm actually going to stay on the other side. I think this is one game that, funny enough, United will win. This is my reason. As good as Aston Villa are, it seems to be a curse that whenever they play against United, they just do not deliver. They don't. The records are there to state. In 26 meetings, 29 meetings against United, the only one that this side has actually won was Naimiri's first game. Ever since then, in fact, how bad it was last season, whereby they were leading United 2-0 as a halftime, and 17 minutes to end the game was what United used. United used only 17 minutes to turn a 2-0 scoreline to a 3-2. As bad as United were that day, every chance United had going on for this squad, that was how bad Villa were. This game, if there's one person you might actually want to watch out for Villa, is John Duran. John Duran,
I fear that guy, man.
Obviously, is one guy, believe you me, as a goalkeeper, you should be scared of. We all knew Manuel Neuer has one little fault, and that is he tends to come out. How John Duran was able to study that on the bench, and when he came onto the pitch, the first chance he had, he used it to his advantage. Because he noticed that Neuer was coming out. He just looked him before Neuer would actually get to what was happening. He looked him before Neuer could actually react, and that was it. That was the only thing that settled that game. Obviously, he's not going to start. They're going to start Watkins. This is the best advice I can actually give Erik ten Hag. If you know you want to keep your job,
the guy is gone.
It's this game that will determine it. This game will determine it. And how is it going to determine it? You don't give Aston Villa a time to actually settle it. You go all out from the start. I need to see Ahmad in that starting 11. I don't know how he's going to do it, but obviously that young man has to play because that young man has got the legs to run. Kobe Mainoo has got legs to run. You using players who basically are almost past their prime for a game like this against Aston Villa is going to haunt you. It will haunt you. He shouldn't try it. I want to see a settled game in midfield for United. I've always said it. United's major challenge has always been that midfield. There is no one actually shielding that midfield. There is no one creating in the midfield. And it's actually turning against them. Whenever they meet opponents who find a way to just settle in the midfield, that is it. They're gone. If he lets Onana have control of that midfield on Sunday, I think we will just say basically by halftime they should have already typed his resignation letter, and they should have not resignation, they should have typed his sack letter, and they hand it over to him immediately. The full-time goal. That's the honest truth.
I rate. Do you need to say anything?
Yeah,
They
I
should win
mean,
this game now.
in midfield. We are talking about midfield. He has Casemiro. He brought in Casemiro and he's paying him 350 a week. And if that is not working, that is his fault. Then he brought in Manuel Ugarte, who just came in as well.
He's not using
You
it.
don't, you got a hype. I've already said it. I didn't actually see what the guy was going to actually change to the United side. No.
He's a good tackler of the ball, but he's not very good when it comes to using the ball and actually initiating attacks like we see with the likes of Rodri. He's not that type of player, and that's why he was on bench at PSG. But a good question to Ten Hag is, and I don't know what his relationship is with Rashford, but if I've said this to every Man United fan, if Rashford was not English, he wouldn't even be in Man United right now. He would have been sold. I'm very sure of that because I see no reason why Marcus Rashford is starting in this team. He might be getting a few goals, maybe one goal here and there, but his overall play is very bad, very, very bad. His body language is not good. He seems demotivated. It doesn't seem like he's enjoying his time playing. It doesn't feel like he's enjoying playing football. He doesn't play with that smile on his face. We don't know what is going on with him. So in that case, maybe Garnacho could come to that wing and Ahmad starts on the other side. That might be a solution, but that is a question for Ten Hag. Jim Radcliffe came out this morning to say sacking Ten Hag is not up to him. That's what Jim Radcliffe came out to say this morning. And what I can say is, and I know Ten Hag has been bullish about how he and the board and the leadership are in sync and have decided to keep on going, working together. We've seen so many times managers getting a vote of confidence, and after the next game, they are sacked. So he shouldn't be too confident about it because I'm very sure now that a lot of people are asking questions of this new ownership. And this game is a very important game for Aston Villa because they want to show that they can actually play amongst the biggest of teams and get results. They did it against Bayern, and now they have to take on Man United as well. And actually, they'll be disappointed if they don't win Man United based on Man United's recent form. So John Duran is on the bench. Watkins is starting. There's enough firepower against this team. Morgan Rogers has been in excellent form. Tillemans and Nana in midfield. I don't see how United will survive.
I don't know.
It might be gone by the time we resume on the international break.
It'll be gone by halftime. I think maybe we might be seeing a scenario whereby for the first time in a match, a coach is actually fired by halftime.
And then Van Nistelrooy will take over the other.
And Van Nistelrooy takes over. You know, when we started the season, we initially said that Van Nistelrooy's appointment to United was actually a trap.
Yeah.
Did you follow statements that we had this week saying that players and the backroom staff tend to have more synergy with Van Nistelrooy than with Ten Hag? That tells you already that the setting has already been arranged. All we are just waiting for is another disastrous performance, and that is it.
And why are you even waiting for a disastrous performance? Just make the team.
I don't understand. Honestly, I don't understand.
It's not going to.
All right. Chelsea is playing on Sunday. I think Chelsea should be able to lose this game.
I heard
you. Chelsea is in form now, but there was the magic.
Well, I would say the coach has brought new energy to the team. He's brought his technical acumen and acumen into the team. The team has, like the coach, I listened to the coach yesterday, irrespective of the player that is playing, the team is already set. They have a personality. So if a player is not playing, anyone that is coming into play knows his role exactly where it's supposed to be at every particular time. I must be honest and say at the beginning of the season, I wasn't expecting this, particularly going by the preseason. In as much as I don't want to judge performance preseason, that preseason was woeful, and I thought, oh my God, here we go again this season. But so far, I've been proved wrong. We lost to Man City at the beginning of the season. I'm sure if we are meeting Man City tomorrow, I'll be beating my chest that we are going to get a result. So as it stands now, I'm not expecting anything less than 3 points from the game tomorrow. One of our problems still remains, that is the defense. Yeah, and there, I think we've kept a couple of clean sheets this
The
season.
defense is still a problem. And Nottingham Forest have players that can actually get the damage done.
Yes, they do have attack that can actually get the damage done. So we should just score as much as possible. Still, fans having that back of their mind that at least one goal is still coming in. The back four, or rather the back three, I think we do not have a stable one yet. Those we have there, they try their best, but compared to Chelsea's defense in the past, I would not. They are still there. They are improving. They are getting to know each other. Now, football has changed from what it used to be. So now you have to build up play from the back, and we have a good goalkeeper that is not actually good with his feet. So
I think I like that statement. A good goalkeeper that is not exactly good, because believe you me, Sanchez sometimes there are some things Sanchez does in games that you need to actually lie him down after the game and give him 6. I swear.
He sometimes makes incredible saves as well. So it's not.
So he actually made some incredible saves that, like, wow, this Sanchez is really, really, really up there. But then it also makes those elementary errors like giving goals.
I think Maresca will change the goalkeeper. I think he will. I don't see.
Oh, you think it's going to change the goalkeeper?
I think it's going to. It's going to buy a new goalkeeper. It's going to bring in a new goalkeeper. I don't think Sanchez fits Maresca's style of play, especially with the ball at his feet. So they might actually find a new
eventually.
But Chelsea this season is score and score. They score and you score them. So that's what it has been.
I think the way to beat Chelsea this season, in all honesty, it's kind of easy. Just find a way to find how to handle Cole Palmer. If you can handle Cole Palmer without letting him get a sniff in attack, you solved 50%. No, you solved 70% of the problem. Because you see that defense line, you will stroll into it. It's that bad. That's how bad. Because you know what? It's funny. We used to have it.
They've kept. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's
because they've actually played against teams that have not really stressed them that much. If they meet any top side again right now, they will go through.
They are meeting Liverpool after the international break.
That's my biggest worry. That's my biggest worry. I have looked at Liverpool's attack. Believe you me, combining the Chelsea defenders, if Liverpool decide to play one man up front, any one of the attackers will actually score a goal. Because the thing is this. I begin to ask, first of all, Badiashile, why was he signed in the first place? I don't understand.
I don't understand that.
This guy that is signed from Fulham, Tosnada Abioyo, why was he signed in the first place?
It's free.
Because they are basically one and the same. And when you realize the fact that Chelsea actually had a Fikayo Tomori that they allowed to go, who has been excelling week in, week out at AC Milan. Chelsea actually had an Olaino who they let go. And we see what he's doing at Forest. So you begin to wonder.
One of the issue is, we do not respect people coming in from our academy. We think people coming in from outside are going to spend millions on are better than people in the academy.
And I don't get it. Anyway, let's see how it's going to go.
All right. So, Bolade, what's your scoreline on this game? Chelsea versus Forest.
Well, you're saying that we've been having some average of 3 goals a game now in the last 3-4 games. I would say 3-1.
3-1.
It will not repeat itself this weekend. I can assure you, it's not going to be a 3.
All right. The last fixture is going to be Brighton versus Spurs.
Okay. All right. Let me do this one. Yes. This one is going to be very, very interesting because this is a game between two sides that lately I've discovered that cannot actually defend. That's the honest truth. These are two sides that do not know how to defend correctly. Yes. There used to be a time whereby you might say if you want to play Brighton, I think your major concern should be finding a way to break that defensive lineup, especially the pairing of Lewis Dunk and his defensive partner on the other side. I can't remember his name, but that's some solid. I think Solimatch, basically, we don't even know exactly where Solimatch actually plays in Brighton, because he can play defense, he can play midfield, he can play attack. And I think right now, let us say it, they are missing him seriously. They are missing the absence of Solimatch. They are also missing the absence of Pascal Gross. It's showing clearly. Since Gross has left, there seems to be a dearth in creativity in midfield, because Gross seems to always find a way to just be the silent man who does all the damage in that midfield. Now, Tottenham on the other side. Tottenham's attack, well, we know what can happen with that attack, but if you notice one thing too, Tottenham are also struggling as well too. Let's take away the as you just say, the game at Old Trafford was just the blip in the Tottenham campaign that so far has not been up to expectation. Solanke is gradually trying to get his scoring boots, but we all know that it's not an argument. Solanke is definitely not Harry Kane. He cannot replace him. Harry has a way of always getting to find the net. He has a big shoe to fill. Son is gradually drifting away from the flanks and coming into midfield. Maddison is trying to get back to his initial starts of last season best. He is still not there yet. I think the bright spotlights they're actually having now is the fact that Kulusevski is actually turning up and is actually delivering. For Brighton, on the other hand, we know what Kairo Mitoma can do. I think I'm looking at the new signings, the new wingers that they actually have, the Tande and the other guy, João Pedro. We don't know if he might actually be playing this game. He's still maybe on 50-50. We know Welbeck will obviously start. And I'm looking at that Tottenham defense. I think the only advantage Tottenham might have with Welbeck is Van de Ven. Van de Ven is fast enough to be able to know how to quickly recover when it comes to Welbeck. I think one battle that I actually want to watch out and see is on the flank there. We know Pedro Porro is good attack-wise. Now, defensive-wise, I want to watch how he will be able to contain Mitoma. Because believe you me, if he makes the mistake of going up front against Mitoma, Mitoma will smoke him.
Easy.
He will smoke him easily. So that means Porro will have to stay defensive on this game. Will he succeed? Because the thing is this, if he's going to play defensive against Mitoma, he has to be at the back on 90 minutes. The 1 minute he decides to go up front, he's in trouble. I want to see how that matchup is going to be, and I want to also see how Welbeck will actually turn up against Van de Ven. I think this game, to be honest with you, this game has goals written all over it. And we know one thing with Tottenham as well too is the fact that whenever Tottenham plays an European fixture, that particular weekend, something terrible tends to happen. I hope we are not going to see it again this weekend.
All right.
I just hope they do it different this time.
Yeah, because of our time, I got to wrap up the show. I want to say thank you, Bolade, the birthday boy. Thanks for joining us on this one. Bolade, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Jeffers, thank you so much.
Oh, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, we'll see you on Monday for the review.
Back on Monday to do the review and the team of the week.
All right. People, smash the like on the video. This is how far we can go tonight. Shout out to Bolade and also the crew that Irate and Jeffers for this Game Week 7 preview. Please smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video as well too. So on the same time when we come back for the review of Game Week 7. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye for now.